Please subscribe.
Buyers' wild-eyed enthusiasm for compact luxury SUVs has put the BMW X3 on a trajectory to overtake the X5 and ultimately the 3 Series as the brand's best-seller. The model has undergone a redesign for 2018, which sees it get slightly larger, not surprising given that the X1 is on hand, soon to be joined by the new X2, for buyers seeking something smaller. The X3 also becomes a more full-fledged member of the BMW family with its upgraded interior. And at a time when some of the brand's passenger car offerings have strayed from BMW's historically strong dynamics, the new X3 makes an encouraging showing there as well. Tighten up. As before, the X3 is offered with 4 or 6 cylinders under the hood, both engines bolstered by a turbocharger. The configuration and displacement are the same, but both engines are new to the model. Although the 30i designation suggests that BMW's 3.0-liter inline 6 is present, it actually has a 2.0-liter inline 4. The 28i was the previous 4-cylinder X3. The 6-cylinder version has been elevated to M-Performance status and is now badged X3 M40i. Both models come with an 8-speed automatic and all-wheel drive. The new 2.0-liter sees horsepower increase from 240 to 248, while the torque peak falls slightly, from 260 pounds-foot to 258. The B46 power plant's output is nothing extraordinary, but the twin-scroll turbo effectively masks any signs of lag, making for precise and predictable throttle response. This engine punches above its weight in other applications, 330i, 530i, but here it feels a tad overmatched. There's nothing to criticize in the nature of its power delivery or its pairing with the 8-speed, but it's a far cry from the M40i's silken and muscular inline 6, which boasts 355 horsepower and 369 pounds-foot of torque. BMW's Turbo 6 is an engine from the gods, and the M40i feels as quick as a Porsche Macan GTS. With either engine, the 8-speed automatic, unfortunately, is controlled via BMW's annoying and unintuitive electronic shifter that is spreading throughout the lineup. We can't fault the transmission's behavior, though, which is smooth and responsive. Plus, standard paddle shifters are on hand should the driver want to take control. The X330i earns EPA fuel economy ratings of 22 miles per gallon city and 29 highway, both increases of 1 mile per gallon over the outgoing X328i. The city number falls between those of the Audi Q5, 23 miles per gallon, and the all-wheel drive Mercedes-Benz GLC 300, 21 miles per gallon, while the BMW's highway figure tops both competitors. The 6-cylinder X3 M40i also manages increases of 1 mile per gallon over its predecessor in both EPA measures, with ratings of 20/27ths of a mile per gallon city, highway. More encouragingly, the X3 chassis suffers none of the flow or sloppiness that plagues much of the recent BMW lineup. The 30i we drove was fitted with the dynamic handling package, $1,400, which brought adaptive dampers, variable sport steering, M-Sport brakes, and a 4th driving mode, adaptive, in addition to Eco Pro, Sport, and the default Comfort. Even Comfort mode doesn't have the wallow we've seen in BMWs of late. The X3 is plenty capable in corners. Sport tightens the reins noticeably, which is fine where the roads are glass smooth but might be too much when they're not. The M40i starts out with a firmer suspension, and our example added the adaptive dampers, a standalone option that's $1,000 on the 30i and $700 on the M40i. The net result is that this is a rare modern BMW that doesn't require you to switch it out of comfort mode into sport the minute you turn it on. The M40i's body control is exemplary, and even its standard variable sport steering is not overboosted. The variable steering is optional on the X330i, however, and there we'd be inclined to skip it. In the lower spec model, it fails to build effort as you wind on more lock, instead seeming to increase assist. Switching to sport mode increases overall effort, masking this behavior. Luxury and practicality. The third-generation X3 adds 2.2 inches to its wheelbase and a commensurate amount to its overall length. It is well packaged, with a generous cargo hold, 29 cubic feet behind the rear seat, versus 19 in the GLC, and an airy back seat, the latter made to seem more so by the now larger panoramic sunroof. The interior materials convincingly support the notion of the X3 as a premium brand vehicle, and the front seat occupants both enjoy standard sport seats with 10-way power adjustment. The layout and function of the controls is fairly straightforward, and iDrive continues to get easier to use. If the iDrive experience seems to last decade for any futurists in the target audience, one can pay extra for the dubious advancement of gesture controls. More of the moment features include a Wi-Fi hotspot and wireless device charging, a $500 bundle, and Apple CarPlay, $300. No Android Auto. BMW's Connecteddrive allows for communication between your car and devices such as your smartwatch or Amazon Echo. The Park Now parking space reservation and payment tape is integrated into iDrive. Those who park on the street, or who are just paranoid, might want to know about the remote 3D view function, in which the X3's available phalanx of cameras can create a snapshot of the car's immediate surroundings and send it to your mobile phone. The X3's starting price has increased by $2,400, mostly because there's no rear-drive version anymore. Compared with the previous all-wheel drive model, the new X3's price sees a $400 increase. The X330i opens at $43,445, versus $42,475 for the Q5 and $43,045 for the GLC 4MATIC, its two most obvious competitors, whereas the X3 M40i starts at $55,295. The new X3 is a well-rounded performer, particularly the M40i, and it also is now a better ambassador for its brand. That's a good thing, given its increasingly visible role